What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the God Next podcast. I'm your host, Mitchell Baldwin. My co-host, Donovan Moore.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And Bennet is back with us this week. Talk about some NFL action. How you feeling this week?
Good to be back. Was a tough loss for the Steelers last week, so hopefully they can bounce back this week. I'll be there to watch it. So it's a great week to talk about some football.
Absolutely. We're gonna just go through our week 13 picks. We have the updated standings as well, so look forward to that this week. But hope you guys like the video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that type of stuff, and enjoy the intro.
You ready to play, boy?
Yo, turn it up, Sly. I can't hear nothing.
So we've been obviously taking a few weeks off with the standings, but don't think that we don't have all our records, all our statistics still with us. So coming right back at you guys in first place, we still got me, of course, Mr. Donovan Moore at 109 wins, but right there on my trail is Mr. Bennet Nadez. We're actually tied. I would say we're tied, actually. We both have 109 wins. Unfortunately, due to the Steelers tying, I'll count that as a loss. I'll give Bennett the heads up there. And then right behind us, literally a game behind, is Mr. Mitchell Baldwin at 107 wins. So we have about 6 weeks left in the season, I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Like 5 or 6 weeks left. So as always, as all year, how it's been, it's anybody's game. So stay tuned, keep picking, and keep watching.
Alrighty, so to kick off our Week 13 matchups, we have the Thursday night football game, which features the Cowboys at the Saints. Mike McCarthy is the Cowboys head coach, is out with COVID. Dan Quinn will be the coach for the game, former coach of the Falcons, the Cowboys' current defensive coordinator, former Salisbury Seagull, just to throw that in there, but terrible head coach. But anyway, I guess in this game, Taysom Hill starting for the Saints. Part of me really wants to pick the Saints for this, but I just can't because the Cowboys are on a 2-game losing streak and they can't fuck around because believe it or not, Washington has actually won 3 in a row, and if they just fuck around for too much longer, the Washington's going to catch up to them. So I just can't let that happen. So I'm going to go with the Cowboys.
The Cowboys are definitely on a losing streak here, but the Saints are also on a 3 or 4 game losing streak themselves. They're at home. It's a primetime game. Alvin Kamara is supposed to be back. Give me the New Orleans Saints this week. It's hard to go against the Saints at home. Taysom Hill just brings them a different element that Trevor Siemian really didn't bring to them at all. And then you got Kamara. You got that solid to decent Saints defense, and they're at home too. I like New Orleans this week.
This is going to be the first time I'm picking against my team all year, man, and I hate to say it, dude, but I have to go with the New Orleans Saints this week, man, just because we have looked horrible these last few weeks. Losing to the Raiders last week kind of hurt, especially in overtime, because we got the ball first and everything. That should have been it, but still found a way to lose that game. And, you know, with Alvin Kamara back this week, and Taysom Hill's no slouch, it's not like he's horrible. He's not like trying to think, he's not like some other quarterback I wouldn't trust, like Baker Mayfield, Andy Dalton, somebody like that. So yeah, hate to say it, I'm gonna have to rock with the Saints this week.
All right, guys, I have a confession to make. You two just convinced me I got to pick the Saints in this one, especially because the Cowboys play Washington the next week, and I feel like they will really need to bring it that game. So they have one more game to kind of mess around, and without their head coach being on the road and the Saints getting a few players back, which are better than what they currently have played with over the last 3 weeks, I'm going to pick the Saints for that one. So I guess we're unanimous on this one.
Last thing I am going to say about this game, must win. I think this is a must win for us. We have already lost 3 of our last 4. If we lose 4 of our last 5, we were 7-1, I think, and now we would be 7-5 at this point. Like if we lose this game, and that's season changing right there. So yeah, this is definitely a must win. Don't think we'll win because we're the Cowboys. So Saints.
All right. So I know we talked about that one for a while, but I think these next 2 we can knock out in about 10 seconds. Bucs at Atlanta, Bucs at Falcons.
Bucs.
2-1 Bucs. All right. And then the Cardinals at the Bears. Does anyone think the Bears? I don't personally. Kyler Murray's going to be back. DeAndre Hopkins, I think, is going to be back too.
Cardinals.
Yeah, Cardinals. That's not even, next game.
Alrighty, the next game, the battle of the sophomores. We got the Chargers at the Bengals. So we got Herbert going to Cincinnati to play Burrow and the Bengals. I'm actually going to pick the Bengals in this one. The Chargers have really not been impressive. All they did in the last month was beat a depleted Steelers football team by only 4 points. And you saw what the Bengals did to the Steelers the very next week. I think, Herbert could be slightly better than Burrow, even though they're both like really good, but Bengals look like they're a better team than the Chargers in my humble opinion. So, and they're at home, so I got the Bengals.
I feel like both of those teams have been inconsistent. The Bengals will win some games you don't expect them to and then lose the next one. Chargers have won games you don't expect them to and lose the next one. I'm going to actually go with the Chargers this week. I just feel like the Bengals are riding a little high, knowing that they swept Pittsburgh for the first time in a few years. So I just feel like the Chargers kind of are long overdue for a bounce back week, and they got to keep themselves in that AFC wildcard race. So I like the Chargers this week to beat the Bengals.
I'm gonna go with the. This is a hard game to pick, honestly. Both teams I feel like are very inconsistent. I'm gonna rock with the Bengals, just because, like Joe Burrow, who is it? Joe Mixon had a really good game last week, and of course they still have Jamar Chase as well. So all the weapons are there. Young team. I like Joe Burrow a lot, so I'm gonna rock with the Bengals.
All right, next. This game should be pretty obvious, but I mean, you never know in football. But the Vikings at the Lions. I mean, I think the Vikings are going to win this game. They lost a tough one to the Niners, and they have a chance to be 6-6, and they're fighting for a playoff spot, so they should win this game. I got the Vikings.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Vikings as well, but I think it'll be a close one. The last time these two teams played, it literally came down to the last play, and I think that was in Minnesota. So this one's in Detroit, and Detroit's still been fighting every week. They should have beat Chicago on Thanksgiving Day. It'll definitely be a very close one, but I'm going with Minnesota as well. They're just playing for more right now.
Lions will find a way to lose.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna rock with the Vikings, and I don't actually think it'll be particularly close. Even with the loss of Dalvin Cook, Alexander Mattison is one of the best backup running backs in the league. So I feel like there's really not that much of a drop off between Dalvin Cook and Alexander Mattison. So I feel like, I think they're gonna have a pretty good week. Justin Jefferson is also still hot right now, so I definitely can't pick the Lions here. It's gonna be Vikings for me.
Already next, not too much of a 5-star matchup, but we got the Giants at the Dolphins. The Dolphins are actually on a 4-game winning streak. I'm going to rock with them. They've had a great turnaround the second half of the year. Unfortunately, it's not going to be enough for them, but definitely Tua is playing a little bit better. Still not convinced that he's the guy, but Daniel Jones isn't even starting for the Giants this week, so give me the Dolphins.
Oh, wow. He hurt? What?
Yeah, I got an update this morning that he hurt himself during the game against the Eagles last week. And
who's their backup?
It is let's see, who is it? God, it's I forget who it is. God, why am I drawing a blank here?
It's all good.
It's Mike Glennon. Mike Glennon's gonna start.
Oh.
They have Jones as doubtful. They have him as doubtful, which isn't officially out, but doubtful.
Give me the Dolphins this week without a doubt. I think they're on a 4-game winning streak right now. They're playing great defense, playing better football than they played all season. I think they'll keep it going, especially if Mike Glennon is at quarterback. Even if Daniel Jones is at quarterback, I was still taking the Dolphins this week. So I like Miami to win this one.
Honestly, last week, I wish I picked the Dolphins, and I was really stuck at the time in between, and I was like, I kind of just picked Cam but I am a fan of the Dolphins, actually. They are not bad at all, and I think they are one really good quarterback away from being like a serious issue in their division. So Jalen Waddle had a really good week last week. Still got Mike Gesicki, who's probably one of the top 10 tight ends in the league. I got to rock with the Dolphins here. They're not bad at all, so I'm going to rock with the Dolphins.
Think about if the Dolphins get Deshaun Watson next year. Like, they could be a lethal team. That could be a lit division with the Patriots and Bills.
Not really, though. Seriously.
But speaking of that Division I team that just can never seem to be lit is the New York Jets, and they're hosting the Eagles this week. Eagles took a tough loss to the Giants last week while it looked like they were gaining some momentum the previous 3 weeks before going on a 3-game winning streak. But I'm going to say they bounce back against the Jets this week and beat them. The Jets won last week against the Texans in the battle of, two of the worst teams in the league. The Eagles will keep the Jets high on that draft board for next year, which the Jets absolutely need because they do not have a team whatsoever. Give me the Eagles in this one.
Yeah, I'm taking the Eagles in this one as well. They should not have lost to the Giants last week, but I think they'll recover this week and beat the Jets.
They played in that same stadium last week. They're gonna, be used to it and against the worst team, the worst. Even though New York teams, they both suck, but
Right.
Wow, man. I think kind of scared here because we have the Saints, and I don't think that we're going to win this week. And then the Eagles happen to have the Jets this week. And then the Washington football team has the Raiders. So it's like winnable games here. I definitely think that the Eagles aren't bad by any means. I mean, like, not horrible. They're not the Jets. So I'm going to say the Eagles definitely for this one.
Alrighty, next we got the Colts at the Texans. The Colts are playing really well. They had a tough loss to Tampa Bay last week, but that's totally, a respectable loss. I'm going to say they obviously bounced back against the Texans.
Yeah, I got Colts without a doubt.
Yeah, give me the team with Jonathan Taylor right now.
Or just give you any team that's not the Texans. I mean, they lost to the Jets last week at home. Next we got, this is a pretty good game to start our 4 o'clock games. We got Washington at the Raiders. And that's a really tough game to call, but I'll be honest, Washington's earned my respect over the last month. I'm going to pick them, even though the Raiders had an impressive win last week as well. I'm going to pick Washington and have them make the NFC East a really competitive division down the stretch, even though I still think the Cowboys are going to win the division. I think the Washington football team will extend their winning streak this week.
Yeah, I think this will be an extremely tough game on the road in Vegas. Darren Waller, it looks like he's not going to play, but Raiders just one of those teams that are very hard to gauge.
Mm-hmm.
We're coming in on a 3-game winning streak. Taylor Heineke's playing really confident football right now. Give me Washington, and then that sets up a big matchup with Dallas the week after. So give me Washington again this week. I like the football team, baby.
Those tickets aren't getting any cheaper.
That's funny. I'm gonna pick the football team here, but I'm gonna pray like hell that the Raiders definitely beat them and that we win our game against the Saints. So, but
that'll make next week less stressful.
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna pick the football team for this one.
And we'll get into it next week. But Dak actually has a really good record against Washington. Washington swept them last year, but they didn't have Dak in either game. So we'll see how they face off this year. But the next game, this should be a really easy game. The Jaguars at the Rams. Rams are on a 3-game losing streak. They are not going to mess around here. They are going to take it out on Jacksonville.
Oh, I got Rams blowout.
Do want to say that the Lions did have a better record than the Rams in the month of November. I think that's hilarious. And if they lose this game, which I know they won't, but if they do lose this game, Matthew Stafford is going to be a huge question mark for this team, who they made a big trade to get this year, and it seems like it may not even pay out. It may not even pay off for them. So I'm going to have to rock with the Rams, man, but they got to be a lot better with these last few weeks.
Absolutely. Totally in agreement with that. Next, we got the game I am going to, the Ravens at the Steelers. Now, the only thing I have to pray on is that every Ravens game is close, but as soon as I saw on Monday that TJ Watt tested positive for COVID, he has to get 2 negative tests to be available by Sunday, and doesn't look like it happens that fast, so I'm assuming that we're not going to have him available this week. Hard to imagine that our defense will play worse than it did last week. However, it just does not look good in Pittsburgh right now, and I pray to God that I am wrong, but I don't have much of a reason to believe in the Steelers right now, even though the Ravens have dropped a couple games to inferior opponents, and it is Ravens Steelers. You never know what's going to happen. The Steelers bring an electric crowd. It's not their year, man. I'm going with the Ravens.
I think this will definitely be a very close game. It's a rivalry game. Simple as that. The Ravens and the Steelers, they always play each other tough no matter who's at quarterback, who's out there on the field. So regardless, I think it'll be a very close game. But I'm going to go with Baltimore this week. No TJ Watt, and the Steelers' offense just hasn't been able to really move the ball at all. So I like Baltimore this week. And, yeah, I like Baltimore.
I think it's hilarious coming off the week that the Steelers had, and they had a really bad loss this past week. Chase Claypool came out and was like, "Can we please get music at practice?"
So dumb.
What? Are you kidding me? Music at practice? That's the last thing they should be worried about. I can't believe in the Steelers the rest of the season after that came out. Got to go with the Ravens here, bro. What is going on with the Steelers, man?
Not to mention Chase Claypool played like garbage last week, along with
Bro,
Ben
how
Roethlisberger.
you
Garbage
feel
the
like
whole
garbage
season.
and then
I have
request?
fantasy.
Yeah,
He sucks.
he's
Bro,
having what you call a sophomore slump.
No, I agree, bro. You can't suck and then demand things in practice, bro. That's not how it works.
Cameron Hayward said he should know better after that, and Mike Tomlin was like, his job is to play wide receiver, my job is to run practice. Like that's exactly what needed to be said.
Yeah, I agree.
But anyway, I'm pretty disgusted. But the other great rivalry in the NFL that'll be airing at that same time is the 49ers at the Seahawks. Unfortunately, the Seahawks have had the worst year they've had under Russell Wilson ever. And it looks like it's going to be him and Pete Carroll's last year in Seattle. That's just my guess. Definitely can't come back after it was already rumored that Russ wanted out the last 2 off seasons. Like there's no way he's going to want to stay after this year. The one team the Seahawks have always been good against under the Pete Carroll, Russell Wilson era is the Niners. And I think, with Debo being out, the Niners are due for a loss. And after the Seahawks' long losing streak, they're due for maybe one more win in this era. And I'm going to say they beat the Niners this week, even though the game is way more important than the Niners. And it looks like the Niners have been rolling over the last month. I think they'll have a random kind of slump here against the Seahawks, and the Seahawks will beat them.
Yeah, I'll take the Seahawks here as well. Yeah, like you said, no Deebo Samuel for the 49ers, which is basically the heart of their offense.
The best player.
I think they're missing their linebacker Fred Warner as well, who's another solid player on their team. I like the Seahawks here. They're having a terrible season, but they're due for one at home, and like you said, they normally play the 49ers very tough. So I like Seattle at home this week.
Did not know that who's it, Deebo Samuel was going to be out this week. I do have Brandon Ayuk on my fantasy team, so that's going to give him a little bit of a boost this week. I am going to rock with the 49ers here. I think the Seahawks just haven't even looked like themselves, and especially coming off a loss to the football team, I did not know that they were going to lose that game. Like, for them to lose that game kind of says a lot to me about their team, because in the past, that would have been an easy game for them. But I got to rock with the 49ers.
And for Sunday Night Football, we got the AFC West matchup between the Broncos and the Chiefs at Kansas City. That's definitely been the wildest division in football this year. However, I think over the last month, the Chiefs have finally made a statement saying we're done messing around. Like, this is our division. And even though the Broncos, kind of like the Raiders, kind of like the Washington football team, have been a roller coaster of a team this year with wins and losses, I think the Chiefs are going to show them up. They were on prime time on Sunday night a few weeks ago against the Raiders, and they smashed them 41-14. I don't think they see the Broncos as anything but equal at most to the Raiders. Not even better. Patrick Mahomes undefeated against the Broncos in his career. I think it continues. I think it's Chiefs take overtime.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I like the Chiefs here as well. They got a good win versus Dallas. And then coming off their bye week, you let Edwards-Helaire get another week to get healthier. I like Kansas City this week. They're about to hit their stride. And honestly, I think they might not lose a game the rest of this regular season. So I like Kansas City.
Knowing the Kansas City Chiefs, I would not be shocked if they did win out the rest of the season. I think they have a lot. Not that they have a lot to prove. I'm not going to say that, but they want to prove the haters wrong from the beginning of the season. But I think if you're going to have issues in the season period, you'd rather it be early in the season, and that's what happened with the Chiefs, rather than what happens with the Cowboys every year. We kind of look kind of good, and then we just suck for the rest of the season. So I'd rather have the Kansas City Chiefs season this year. So I'm gonna definitely rock with the Chiefs. I think they're, like Dono said, about to hit their stride.
Definitely. And to end the week, we have an AFC East matchup on Monday Night Football. Probably the game of the week, the Patriots at the Bills. Currently, the Patriots are half a game better because they haven't had their bye week yet, but the 8-4 Patriots, the 7-4 Bills. Part of me really wants to pick the Patriots. I mean, obviously, they got the better coach. They don't have the better quarterback, but they've been playing more consistent than the Bills have all year. Monday Night Football, Bill Belichick teams usually don't disappoint in front of the national audience. However, they've been on a 6-game winning streak, and I do think the Bills have kind of been win-loss, the last few weeks, and I just think, I think it can't be the same. It can't be the same, kind of story forever. And so I think, the Bills will snap their winning streak this week, and since they do have the better quarterback and the better offense, I think substantially, I think they will win this game in a close game, and prove that the division is still theirs.
Yeah, I think this will be a very tough game here. Two very good football teams. Honestly, the Patriots could have beat the Bills last year had it not been for a Cam Newton fumble in crunch time, and I think a few plays in the other. I think the other game was a blowout, but one of those games they could have won. I got the Bills taking this one at home, but I think New England will get them when they play in New England. But I like Buffalo on Monday.
I honestly like New England in this matchup. I think Buffalo has proven to be also an inconsistent team, like the Chargers, like some of the other teams we talked about earlier. So, I have to rock with the Patriots, and I think that they are first in their division as of right now, if I'm not mistaken. And Mac Jones has been probably one of the best rookie quarterbacks I think I've ever seen. So, and then Bill Belichick's defense, you already know, is going to be competitive week in and week out. So, got to rock with the Patriots for this week. Definitely good talking to you guys. Hope you guys liked the video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that type of stuff. We're going to be right back at y'all with another NFL episode next week, as you already know. And also go check out our last NBA episode, which I just put out today. Other than that, we'll see y'all next week.